Now at 9, a group of citizens are asking the state auditor to investigate the hiring practices of the city of Carthage. Plus, why an oil refinery in Coffeyville, Kansas is agreeing to pay $23 million in a settlement. And a U.S. Senator stops by Chanute, Kansas for a ribbon cutting of a new indoor conference space.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy. A Coffeyville, Kansas oil refinery settles a lawsuit for illegal pollutants. The EPA and Justice Department announced today that Coffeyville Resources Refining and Marketing will pay more than $23 million for violations related to illegal emissions of pollutants from 2015 to 2017. Those pollutants including more than 2,000 tons of sulfur dioxide. The Southeast Kansas refinery has had a long history of legal settlements, including one involving an oil spill during the 2007 flood. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us for the first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a dreary one for us today. On and off showers throughout the day. Of course, these moved in yesterday, rain last night, rain through most of the daytime hours today. And our temperatures really didn't go anywhere. 49 for a high, started at 45, well below our average high of 57 degrees. 75 was a record back on this date. And we still have light showers, which continue to press through. And we're going to see these through the overnight hours. They will start to taper a little bit once we get past midnight. In fact, I'll stop here at 1:30 in the morning. Still, we have showers mainly along and south of I-44, but you can see by 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, most of these are gone. Temperatures, they back down into lower 40s. Here's 8 a.m. We could still get a few more showers on Tuesday. And of course, we're going to look at your travel forecast here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. Some Carthage, Missouri residents are questioning the city administrator's employment. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to the resident that filed a complaint with the Missouri State Auditor's Office.
Now, I think that there was an issue. Many of the council members at the time, they were not informed of what the process is for hiring the city administrator, and they didn't realize that that was a requirement.
After going through council minutes, resident Bill Punham says he realized that the city administrator, Greg Dagnan, does not meet the residential requirement of living within city limits. Punham believes that Dagnan's hiring is against Carter's charter because the council didn't vote to waive the requirement.
Well, the solution was just to declare the office of city administrator vacant, and then to have a reapplication and do it according to the city code.
Dagnan has lived outside of the city limits since his time as police chief. The city attorney says the city council's action of hiring Dagnan for employment waived the residential requirement.
The person that was the chair of the hiring committee did ask the city attorney, hey, do we need to make 2 separate votes here since we know Greg lives outside the city? And the city attorney said, no, if you hire the guy, you're pretty much saying that you're okay, that he is qualified and where he lives is fine.
Another concerned resident says the city administrator has overstepped role responsibilities.
And it appears that we have a situation where the city administrator is functioning much more like a city manager and has been given responsibilities by the mayor that go beyond the definition of the role.
Our charter is very clear that we're a mayor-strong city, and then the mayor delegates whatever power to me that he wants me to have. And we've got a great working relationship, so I think that I'm doing everything appropriately.
The city council clarified with Punham that the hiring process of the city administrator was legal. Punham then filed a complaint with the Missouri State Auditor's Office.
And we believe that there will be a response from them directed to the city to ask them for additional information.
This way. He emailed me a copy of it. I've seen what he complained about, but I have not heard from the state auditor. So,
reporting in Carthage, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Southeast Kansas has a new conference and workforce training center. U.S. Senator Jerry Moran has stopped by at the ribbon cutting of the new Impact Conference Center in Chanute. It features space for 300 seats, soundproof, and a state-of-the-art audiovisual technology. Officials say the center will help several industries, including health and wellness.
Where something really good is happening. I mean, healthcare is an issue for every citizen of our state, but here in Southeast Kansas, sometimes it's rare, and we want to make sure. We want to be helpful to communities that are trying to improve the access to healthcare and improve its quality. And so we're here to cut a ribbon, express excitement and support for some federal funds, some private funds, and state funds coming together to make sure that Chanute and the surrounding area has greater access to care.
The new center was paid for through grants from the Federal CARES Act. People across the 4 states are relying on food banks to have something to eat this holiday season. To help, KOAM today hosted a drop-off event at Ron's Supermarket in Pittsburgh as part of our Feed the 4 States campaign. Folks who wanted to help were able to donate non-perishable food items.
It's important to help out where we can, whether that's with Wesley House or whoever, and KOAM is a great partner to work with to help individuals in need this holiday season.
The turnout, we hope to support about the 1 in 5 families that we're seeing come through Wesley House's doors. So that could mean feeding a family of 4 for a month is the goal.
The drop-off event may be over, but our Feed the 4 States campaign is still going on. You can donate money through our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. That money will benefit area food pantries. Tributes honoring former First Lady Rosalynn Carter, the beloved first wife of President Jimmy Carter for more than 77 years. Mrs. Carter yesterday in her hometown of Plains, Georgia, just days after entering hospice care on Friday. Fox News correspondent Davis Fun is in Plains, Georgia with reaction to the legacy she leaves behind.
People across the world remembering former First Lady Rosalynn Carter.
Just yesterday we lost former First Lady Rosalynn Carter, who walked her own path, inspiring a nation and the world along the way.
Carter, who was battling dementia, died Sunday at age 96. But she leaves behind a lasting legacy of public service through her humanitarian work, advocacy on mental health issues, and push to improve care for the elderly.
The country lost a champion in many areas, not only with Habitat for Humanity, but mental health. For women as a whole.
She was married to former President Jimmy Carter for more than 77 years, the longest of all presidential marriages. Rosalynn was often at her husband's side as a loving wife and confidant during his time in the White House and beyond. In a statement Sunday, the former president said, "Rosalynn was my equal partner in everything I ever accomplished. She gave me wise guidance and encouragement when I needed it. As long as Rosalynn was in the world, I always knew somebody loved and supported me." One of the couple's 11 grandchildren, State Senator Jason Carter, among those paying tribute, posting this photo on X. Mrs. Carter is not just being remembered for her work in the White House. She and former President Carter created the Carter Center to further their commitment to human rights around the globe.
These two people working together that became such a force in what was done in Africa in global health.
Mrs. Carter's legacy will be honored for 3 days, beginning next Monday. In Plains, Georgia, David Spunt, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll have some tips to help manage diabetes while enjoying that Thanksgiving feast. It's that time of year, holiday gatherings with food as the focal point. But if you're one of the millions of Americans with diabetes, these get-togethers can be challenging. Mandy Gaither has ways to manage diabetes while also enjoying the holidays.
Having holiday fun with family while managing blood sugar levels can be hard for those with diabetes.
You have to think ahead, you have to plan ahead, you have to think about what kind of food is going to be there.
Endocrinologist Kitty Wine with the Ohio State University's Wexner Medical Center says a person will need different approaches depending on whether they have type 1 or type 2 diabetes.
The person who has type 1 diabetes has to figure out how to plan to match their insulin to their food. The person with type 2 diabetes has to ask the question of what can I eat that's healthy How can I still have fun but not overeat?
To manage diabetes, Wine says to stick to a schedule, eat as close to regular times as possible, and pack a snack just in case. Enjoy that yummy food in moderation, but be aware of what you're eating. Some pre-meal research can help.
Oh my gosh, if you knew how much sugar was in the pecan pie, you'd probably never eat it again.
Wine says to be carb conscious and avoid sugary beverages and alcohol. If you're the cook, try fresh herbs or lemon juice instead of salt and stay active. It's important to stabilize blood sugar levels.
You don't have to go run a marathon, but just going for a walk. Going for a walk after an event can be really good for you and help to keep your sugar down.
Travel numbers for the Thanksgiving holiday are expected to hit record highs, and that means the risk for respiratory viruses will also be high. According to the CDC, in most parts of the country, especially the South and the West, flu cases continue to rise. COVID-19 and RSV are spreading as many Americans hit the road and take to the skies this week. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, another Northeast high school softball standout signs to continue her career in college.
Well, of course, a dreary day for us today, in and out of the rain all day long, but we need the rain. Actually, the past couple of weeks, we haven't even really had a drop. This is the first rain we've had all month in November. Today is November 20th. It's almost a 3-week stretch of nothing, and that is part of the new pattern. So we are going to have these 2-week stretches repeating through the pattern, which kind of stinks, but at least when we get the rain, we need to enjoy it. Of course, that was our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam downtown Joplin. All right, 0.2 of an inch of rain in Joplin since midnight. But for the entire storm system, 3/4 of an inch, and that's actually some of the lower amounts, but still that deficit of almost 13 inches. Now, where you see the greens, this is showing us 1 upwards to 3 inches of rain. Now, the lighter blue is under an inch. So really from Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Joplin, Neosho, that's where you guys had the least amounts, but still picked up a 1/2 inch to an inch of rain. On the back side of this system now, so the back bands are rotating through. You can see the classic comma shape, any big thunderstorms down across southeastern parts of the U.S. But we're on the back side, so that means on and off light showers as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Let's stop at about 1:30 in the morning. You can see most of the showers along and south of I-44. Still drizzle north of that. And then I think most of this gone. 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll start the day into low to mid 40s, but we could still get a couple random showers tomorrow afternoon, which I'll show you here in a second. All right, temperatures cooling down. Most of us are into the mid 40s. It's been kind of breezy. The wind's switching around out of the north, and these are going to stay breezy. In fact, let's go into tomorrow morning. Look at our gusts, 20 to 30, and it stays kind of breezy all day long tomorrow, and then finally the winds start to back down a little bit by the time we get into Wednesday. So we get to dry out just a bit as we head into the next couple days, but we're still going to have mostly cloudy skies for us tomorrow. Now, once we get into the early afternoon, we could see a few little showers trying to pop up. You can see a couple getting going. Southwestern Missouri, even a few flakes of snow trying to mix in. Not a big deal, obviously, but a few showers push through. We clear out tomorrow night. We drop upper 20s. So it's going to be a cold one. And then Wednesday looks good, especially if you're doing some traveling. We're going to be dry, sunshine, high temps, upper 40s. So a few early afternoon showers, high temp 48 for us tomorrow. Wednesday looks good. Let's go into Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving looks good, a lot of clouds, but it still looks nice. Even Black Friday looks pretty good. We do have to watch a storm system as we head into the weekend that may cause us a few travel issues. All right, 48 for us tomorrow, 50 on Wednesday, 58 on Thanksgiving itself, 51 on Friday. Some showers trying to work in late Saturday, could mix with a little bit of snow on Sunday. We'll keep our eyes on that as we go through the next few days. Elise?
Coming up, how a local gaming business is using Black Friday to keep up with the big chain stores. Black Friday is a big time for businesses, big and small, but for some local businesses, it's a chance to gain some ground on the chain stores. We spoke with officials at Gameco in Joplin about how they prepare for Black Friday. They say it's important to focus on the current gaming trends to make sure customers get the deals they're looking for.
We started seeing the car commercials and the Best Buy and those places doing, basically Black Friday from the beginning of November. We were like, man, if we don't do something different, you're trying to wait till the end. I think a lot of people are starting to shop so much earlier, and Black Friday itself is not such a big, important date.
To find out about some Black Friday deals you might not expect, head on over to the money section on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Cherokee County Sheriff is reminding the community to be vigilant against phone scams. Here are some common scams to look out for. Parent scams, where a victim is contacted by someone claiming to be a grandchild. Post office scams, a scammer claiming to be the post office will send you a phishing link asking to confirm information. And Medicaid scams is when a scammer will say that Medicare is using new cards and needs the victim's information for processing. The road home for Thanksgiving is looking a little rocky, especially as bad weather could upend air travel on the East Coast. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor is at Reagan National Airport with the story.
The Thanksgiving rush is on, and things may seem calm now.
I planned ahead, and looks like it's going to be smooth. Lines are short, but today is only Monday.
Not to mention, severe weather is brewing on the East Coast. A major rain system is forecasted to spread on Tuesday, and thunderstorms could shake up travel from Mississippi to the Carolinas, while parts of the Northeast may even see snow.
As always, the skies will be extremely busy this Thanksgiving. We're expecting almost 50,000 flights on Wednesday. 49,600 is our current estimate.
And flyers are not taking their chances.
We got here really early.
5 hours.
Get to the airport 2 hours early.
Some travelers are taking advantage of Clear, a membership which fast-tracks the identity verification process at the airport. It's a private service, different than TSA PreCheck, which helps passengers bypass the security line.
I've had Clear for over a year, and it's like the best decision I've ever made.
But you don't need to be high-tech to be prepared. Just having important documents in order and brushing up on airport do's and don'ts is always a good idea.
There's always somebody in the line that seems to not know all the rules.
The Transportation Department is working with airlines to brace for storm conditions, but says passengers should be prepared for weather-related flight changes. From Reagan National Airport, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Up next, how Life Cereal is trying to connect parents by sharing parenting tips and tricks. If you know some good parenting advice, Life Cereal wants you to share it with other families. The cereal brand is partnering with actress Julie Bowen to start a national parenting hotline. Parents who have some tips on how to navigate life moments, or if you know hacks, are encouraged to share them. Parents can also call in to discover the tips and tricks shared by other families. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. President Biden's birthday is shining a spotlight on concerns about his age. Plus, a big shakeup in the world of artificial intelligence as OpenAI fires its CEO, Sam Altman.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy. On a day when President Biden is tackling one of his biggest weaknesses, a battle over muzzling former President Trump in the middle of his presidential campaign is playing out in federal court. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reports.
This is their day.
A big day at the White House with dual celebrations.
The national turkey presentation and pardon marks the unofficial start of the holiday season.
Turkeys, Liberty, and Bell weren't the only celebrants. Monday was also the president's birthday.
It's difficult turning 60. Difficult.
But the issue is no laughing matter. At 81, he has set a new record as the oldest sitting president in American history. Although the White House is trying to spin his advanced age as an asset,
it's about the president's experience.
It has become one of his greatest political liabilities. A New York Times Siena College poll shows 71% of voters in battleground states believe he's too old to be an effective president.
In the last couple of weeks, we have seen this incredible sort of turn, at the highest levels among Democrats and the media, starting to raise the alarm that they believe they have a real problem.
Republican presidential frontrunner former President Trump, who isn't far behind the president at 77 years old, is dealing with his own set of problems. His defense team argues a limited gag order imposed by a federal judge in his election interference case violates his First Amendment rights.
The order is unprecedented, and it sets a terrible precedent.
While the three-judge panel seems skeptical of the arguments presented by Trump's attorneys, they also appear willing to narrow the restrictions against the former president. In Washington, Malta Rivera, Fox News.
A U.S. consumer watchdog is urging parents to be cautious of some smart toys this holiday season, which could spy on children. A new report by the U.S. Public Interest Research Group says smart toys can include microphones, trackers, and cameras, raising concerns about hacking. Consumer experts recommend parents fully understand the features of a toy before they buy it to determine whether its technology could potentially breach the safety of their child. One of the biggest names in artificial intelligence has been dumped from OpenAI, and Microsoft is wasting no time scooping him up. Fox Business correspondent Susan Lee has more.
OpenAI makes ChatGPT, and the reason that we've all been talking about AI, artificial intelligence, over the past year, a shocking boardroom coup that shook Silicon Valley over the weekend. CEO and co-founder Sam Altman blindsided, fired via video link on Friday. The OpenAI board said that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. There are numerous theories on why he was fired, and that includes conflicts of interest with Altman's other private AI ventures. Also concerns that he was pushing speed and profits of AI products ahead of safety considerations. Now, there were talks this weekend to actually bring back Altman as CEO, with him tweeting this photo of him with a guest badge on Sunday at OpenAI headquarters. But this morning, Microsoft confirming they have now hired Altman and other senior OpenAI executives. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella tweeting that we're extremely excited to share the news that Sam Altman and Greg Brockman, together with colleagues, will be joining Microsoft to lead a new advanced AI research team. We know that Microsoft is the largest OpenAI investor. They've invested at least $12 billion, but the first person to actually put money in was Elon Musk, and he tweeted that it's very important for the public to know why the board felt so strongly about their actions. If it was a matter of AI safety, that would affect all of Earth. Also, more intrigue this morning with 500 of the 700 OpenAI staff now threatening to quit, join Altman at Microsoft. Instead, they want the board to resign and Altman to be reinstated. Even the alleged coup leader says that he now regrets the board's actions and wants to reunite OpenAI. Susan Lee, Fox News in New York.
A bit later, Taylor Swift postpones one of her shows in Brazil following the death of a fan due to extreme temperatures.
Well, of course, a dreary day for us today, in and out of the rain all day long, but we need the rain. Actually, the past couple of weeks, we haven't even really had a drop. This is the first rain we've had all month in November. Today is November 20th. It's almost a 3-week stretch of nothing, and that is part of the new pattern. So we are going to have these 2-week stretches repeating through the pattern, which kind of stinks, but at least when we get the rain, we need to enjoy it. Of course, that was our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam downtown Joplin. All right, 0.2 of an inch of rain in Joplin since midnight. But for the entire storm system, 3/4 of an inch, and that's actually some of the lower amounts, but still that deficit of almost 13 inches. Now, where you see the greens, this is showing us 1 upwards to 3 inches of rain. Now, the lighter blue is under an inch. So really from Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Joplin, Neosho, that's where you guys had the least amounts, but still picked up a ½ an inch to an inch of rain. On the back side of this system now, so the back bands are rotating through. You can see the classic comma shape, any big thunderstorms down across southeastern parts of the U.S. But we're on the back side, So that means on and off light showers as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Let's stop at about 1:30 in the morning. You can see most of the showers along and south of I-44. Still drizzle north of that. And then I think most of this gone. 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll start the day into low to mid 40s, but we could still get a couple random showers tomorrow afternoon, which I'll show you here in a second. All right, temperatures cooling down. Most of us are into the mid 40s. It's been kind of breezy. The wind's switching around out of the north, and these are going to stay breezy. In fact, let's go into tomorrow morning. Look at our gusts, 20 to 30, and it stays kind of breezy all day long tomorrow, and then finally the winds start to back down a little bit by the time we get into Wednesday. So we get to dry out just a bit as we head into the next couple days, but we're still going to have mostly cloudy skies for us tomorrow. Now, once we get into the early afternoon, we could see a few little showers trying to pop up. You can see a couple getting going. Southwestern Missouri, even a few flakes of snow trying to mix in. Not a big deal, obviously, but a few showers push through. We clear out tomorrow night. We drop upper 20s, so it's going to be a cold one. And then Wednesday looks good, especially if you're doing some traveling. We're going to be dry, sunshine, high temps, upper 40s. So a few early afternoon showers, high temp 48 for us tomorrow. Wednesday looks good. Let's go into Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving looks good, a lot of clouds, but it still looks nice. Even Black Friday looks pretty good. We do have to watch a storm system as we head into the weekend that may cause us a few travel issues. All right, 48 for us tomorrow. 50 on Wednesday, 58 on Thanksgiving itself, 51 on Friday. Some showers trying to work in late Saturday. Could mix with a little bit of snow on Sunday. We'll keep our eyes on that as we go through the next few days. Elise?
All right, thanks, Doug. Iceland is bracing for what could be its largest volcanic eruption in decades. Officials say it's possible the event could destroy the fishing town of Grindavik. Fox News national correspondent Brian Yennis has more.
Hundreds of small earthquakes rocked southwestern Iceland on Monday as magma moves slowly to the surface. Officials here believe there's still a high chance of a volcanic eruption within days. If and when that happens, they expect to have at most a 30-minute warning.
We will be assessing the likelihood of an eruption as relatively high, if for no other reason, just because there are people there and we need to really be sure.
Scientists say the ground has swelled around a vital power plant that provides electricity and hot water to 30,000 households. Crews are racing to build 2 walls around that plant and the famous Blue Lagoon hot springs to protect them from lava flow.
We're not stopping the lava. What we're going to try to do is to divert it, so it comes to the barriers and flows beside it, away from the things that we're protecting.
Officials say an eruption could occur anywhere along a 9-mile magma tunnel that's sitting just below the surface. But there's a growing fear it could destroy the fishing town of Grindavik. Nearly 4,000 people have evacuated so far. On Monday, some folks waited for a police escort to be brought back into town. They then have 10 to 15 minutes to save any personal belongings.
We don't know if we're going to have a home or what, because if it doesn't erupt, we don't know anything.
After sustaining damage from earthquakes, officials say it could be months before people are allowed back into the town of Grindavik. In Grindavik, Iceland, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
Coming up in sports, we take a look at the Galena boys basketball team before their season begins. Plus, a couple of softball players out of Northeast High School are signed up to play at the college level. Brock Baldridge has that story and more.
The Kansas City Chiefs return home tonight after their long bye week for one of the bigger matchups of the NFL season as Monday Night Football returns once again to Arrowhead. Chiefs versus Eagles tonight, rematch of Super Bowl 57. It just happened last February, really. Kansas City dominated the first half defensively in this game by holding the Eagles to only 7 points at halftime. And at the moment, at last check, the Chiefs currently lead by a narrow margin, 17-14 in the fourth quarter. The Galena Bulldogs boys basketball team is coming off one of their most successful seasons in school history. Galena went to the Kansas Class 3A state tournament with an undefeated record. Now the Bulldogs have to find a way to replace all that production they lost from last year's senior class. Bulldogs got after at practice Monday morning. Galena aiming for their 5th straight sub-state title. Last season, Galena finished in 4th place in the Class 3A state tournament. The team is getting ready for their jamboree tomorrow night at Northeast Arma High School. And with all those seniors leaving the program last year, this season could really be a work in progress.
It's a whole new group this year, so it's going to be. I think this year's going to be a work in progress as we go. We know we've got some talented kids back. They just haven't had varsity minutes with the group of seniors we had last year. So it may take us a little bit of time to gel together because they haven't had those minutes. But we've got some good kids back. So
we got a lot of guys coming up. A lot of people that didn't play much last year, but they've worked hard over the summer, and a few new guys. Few guys moved in. But mostly the core players that were younger last year are going to step up and play well for us.
The Northeast Arma Vikings have had signing days and back-to-back weeks for a couple of their softball players. Last week, Shelby Underwood signed with the Crowder Community College Rough Riders, and this week, Lexi Arnell signs with the Independence Community College Pirates. Lexi Arnell officially signed, sealed, and delivered her letter of intent as she is planning to join the Pirates softball team as a catcher. And get this, she didn't start catching until she got into high school, and a lot of that had to do with her teammate Shelby Underwood, who convinced Lexi to catch for her. Shelby signed her letter of intent with Crowder Community College as a pitcher last Monday. Underwood comes off a season where she was a junior and she led the Vikings with a 1.24 ERA and 113 strikeouts.
I've always dreamed about this as a little kid, and I want to play at the next level. So the opportunity is a really great job. I'm really excited to play for Crowder also because on my visit there, I loved it, fell in love with it.
I really liked the small town feel of Independence. It reminded me of home, and I really wanted to play at the next level because it's always been a dream of mine since I started playing softball competitively, and it's always just been something I dream of.
The Kansas Jayhawks are in Maui tonight. Actually, not Maui. They are in Honolulu for the Maui Invitational, except this year's Maui tournament was relocated to Honolulu due to those Maui wildfires in the recent months. The Kansas Jayhawks going against the hosts of the tournament, Chaminade Silver Swords. KU has pretty much been in full control in this game. Hunter Dickinson and Kevin McCullough Jr. They have scored in double figures tonight. The Jayhawks hold on to win. They will face the winner between UCLA and Marquette tomorrow night. That's a look for sports. We'll be back with more news right after this.
Taylor Swift postponing her show Saturday in Brazil after a fan died during her Friday show amid extremely sweltering temperatures in Rio de Janeiro. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has that story.
The heat index, that's the combination of air temperature and humidity, hit nearly 140 degrees Saturday in Rio de Janeiro, the Brazilian city where Swift held her concert. The dangerous heat wave took a toll on her fans during the show and outside the stadium.
I'm worried because I have low blood pressure and I was afraid of exposing myself to the sun like this and any serious consequences it might have. But being here is a dream. I've worked hard. I've saved money to be here at this show. So I've been taking all the precautions possible.
As for the 23-year-old fan who died, a Brazilian newspaper reported that she stood in line for hours to get inside the stadium to get a good spot, fainted, had to be resuscitated, then suffered a second cardiac arrest on her way to the hospital where she died shortly after her arrival. Authorities have not yet determined her cause of death. Fans on social media complained that they were not allowed to bring water into the stadium. Swift could be seen in some videos posted to social media asking organizers to give water to fans who got her attention and even throwing a bottle of water out to the crowd herself. Swift postponed Saturday's show amid the deadly heat wave, and she shared her heartbreak over the fan's death, writing on social media, "I can't even tell you how devastated I am by this. There's very little information I have other than the fact that she was so incredibly beautiful and far too young." Swift added, "I'm not going to be able to speak about this from stage because I feel overwhelmed by grief when I even try to talk about it. I want to say now I feel this loss deeply and my broken heart goes out to her family and friends. This is the last thing I ever thought would happen when we decided to bring this tour to Brazil." The Brazilian entertainment company who organized Swift shows in Rio de Janeiro announced it will carry out a special action plan that involves new free water distribution points during the public event. They're also going to allow people to enter the stadium with sealed containers of water as long as it follows the safety recommendations. Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Coming up, if you want to watch some TV after your turkey dinner, we'll give you the rundown of Fox's TV lineup this week. Chef Gordon Ramsay's latest Kitchen Nightmares visit and a new challenge on Special Forces World's Toughest Test. We have a look at what's coming up on Fox TV this week with Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
What I do.
Celebrity recruits face their biggest challenge yet on Special Forces as part of What's Hot on Fox.
The shrimp tastes frozen.
First Monday on Kitchen Nightmares, Chef Gordon Ramsay visits a Puerto Rican restaurant opened by a sibling duo 5 days before the COVID shutdown.
Not all of you will be stood here at the end of this task.
After that is an all-new Special Forces World's Toughest Test. This week starts with recruits pulling sleds through 2 miles of dangerous terrain as the show gets closer to the final challenge.
Name that tune.
Tuesday brings encores with Celebrity Name That Tune and 911 Lone Star. Wednesday, sing along to a replay of the Trolls Night boy band theme on The Masked Singer and play along with the David Spade hosted game show Snake Oil.
4 minutes, Chef. 4 minutes.
Thursday, catch up on the All-American Brunch Night on Hell's Kitchen and the episode of Lego Masters with builders tasked with creating what a selection of sound effects would look like in a Lego model. Touchdown! Friday is Fox Sports College Football with Oregon State versus Oregon.
Well, I'm looking forward to some quality time with Grandpa.
Sunday brings the Animation Domination lineup, including an all-new Bob's Burgers and Family Guy.
Oh my God, Meg! I won!
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of a polar bear playing with a bamboo stick at a zoo in Washington. Thanks for making us part of your night.